you say college sports needs to be saved. Tell me why. What's broken?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are a few problems with college sports, and we see a lot of them in the paper. Um, uh, the headlines say we have an issue with NIL, we have the issue with transfer portal, whatever it is. But really, those are only are symptoms of deeper problems, which are primarily related to just the fact that the business model is broken. There honestly is not enough money in college sports, which is a surprise to many people. The average athletic department deficit in FBS is about $20 million per school per year, and that was in 2024, and it's only growing. It's only growing this year. So the problem that we have is that we have professionalized the cost side. We started paying the players, but we still have this semi-professional model for how we market our media rights. And so that's what if effectively needs to be fixed. We need to modernize some old legislation, some old laws, and get college sports on the basically the same page with professional leagues in terms of how they can market their media rights. And
So, Cody, you
yeah,
say there's not enough money in college football. Reports are Texas Tech spent some 55 million on NIL, around 30 million on their college football roster. And some could argue money has helped Texas Tech more than any other college in the country at the moment.
yeah, I would agree with that, but that's because the money came from our boosters. And so if you have great boosters that are willing to support your program, you're in great shape, and you can kind of
Mhm.
take advantage of the weakness that everybody else has. But for most schools, they're running huge deficits right now. Tech is not one of those. So it's kind of interesting that I'm involved in the one that's trying to fix this because we are, one of the schools that's advantaged, and if everything kind of burns down, we'll be one of the ones that's left. But for me in my life, the opportunities that I've had, the success that I've achieved, I wouldn't have been able to without the opportunity that I got in education and social mobility and everything I learned through college sports. So I want to make sure as many kids continue to have that opportunity as possible. And what I see is that the system is very quickly falling apart. And if Congress doesn't act, if we don't get some changes made, we're going to lose it.
So, specifically, what are those changes? How do we get more money into college athletics?
Really, it all goes back to this law that was passed in 1961 called the Sports Broadcasting Act. And the Sports Broadcasting Act gave the professional leagues the rights to the teams to pool their rights together, their media rights together, and act as a single seller. So they are one negotiating entity with the media companies, and so that allows them to get more money. So, like, college football is the second most popular sport in America.
Hmm.
It has about twice as many viewers as the NBA, but college football makes half as much money as the NBA does. And so, if you would simply, again, modernize that law and professionalize that law, you could change and solve the economic problem. Our studies show that it would bring about $7 billion of additional money into the system per year.
You write in the USA Today, the NCAA is too conflicted to put student athletes first and to represent the interests of its entire membership. How could college sports be saved if there's no NCAA to run 90 championships over 24 sports?
Yeah, I just think the NCAA needs to be modernized or replaced. I'm not saying that there doesn't need to be a governing body. In fact, I know there needs to be an effective governing body. Right now, we have no one that can make rules. We have no one that can set rules. No one that can enforce rules. The NCAA is a completely toothless tiger at this point. I think they've lost 18 straight lawsuits, something like that. You can play for as many years as you want to play. You can transfer as many times as you want to transfer. Get paid whatever you want to get paid, whenever you want to get paid by whoever. It's complete chaos right now in college sports, and that's because essentially the NCAA was behind the curve in terms of just recognizing that college sports have changed. And so,
Mhm.
the fact that we would consider giving them additional power to do more when they've screwed it up so badly up to this point doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Part of the chaos that exists in college sports is due to not just NIL and the Wild West rules of that, but the constant free agency that exists. The transfer portal allows players to transfer every seemingly year to the point that fans don't know who's playing where, what season. How do we fix that?
Yeah, that again goes back to the whole fact that the NCAA has no ability to enforce any rules or make any rules at this point. They've taken it all the way to the Supreme Court and they've lost something like 18 different times. Every time they try to enforce a rule, they lose the lawsuit against the player. And it's because they have been acting, as the court said, in conflict with antitrust law for over 100 years. So they don't have the legal ability to enforce any rules.
And lastly, you say, Cody, that this current system puts women's sports and Olympic sports in particular in jeopardy. Why is that?
Yeah, so there are only two sports that make money: football and men's basketball, right? And I don't know if people know that or not, but all the rest of sports lose money. So the money that's made off of football, the money that's made off of basketball, goes to pay for women's sports and Olympic sports. So as we have budget deficits, the first thing that the schools do is look to cut the sports where they're losing money, and so the women's sports, and the Olympic sports get cut first. We've seen 183 of them cut since July the 1st.
That is a huge problem. The website is savingcollegesports.com. Is Texas Tech going to win a national title?
We'll see. We got a few games to play, but we're so far so good.
Looking pretty good, blowing out
Yeah.
teams right now. Cody Campbell, Texas Tech Red Raiders. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.